हाय पंडित जी, राम राम। हाँ पंडित जी।
हाँ आ गए।
नहीं, उधर दूसरा वाला कंप्यूटर ऑन करने गए थे।
मैंने भी खाना खा लूं मैं जल्दी, शनिवार इतवार को मैंने यार लेट हो जाना था। खाना पीना खा लो, अपने फ्री बैठोगे।
एक मिनट मेरा फोन
करते रहो।
ये तो करी है। दोनों कंप्यूटर ऑन करना पड़ता है ना।
हाँ हाँ हाँ।
आज काफी लोग हो गए। हाय कृष्णमूर्ति।
मूर्ति है भाई।
शर्मा नमस्कार। आर शर्मा साहब
सर नमस्कार।
सर, आज हमारे बहुत अच्छे दोस्त और मेहमान, आज तो मेहमान ही इनको कहा जाए, टुडे वी विल कॉल हिम एज ए गेस्ट ओनली, बट ही हैज बीन वेरी गुड फ्रेंड। आई मीन इन LF people were knowing PK or KK. Dr. K Krishnamurthy from Pondicherry VCRC.
नमस्कार सर, डॉक्टर साहब नमस्कार।
Nice to join the group. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome.
Sir. Anil Mukherjee, friend.
Yeah, I know.
Nice meeting you, sir.
Thank you.
गुड इवनिंग सर, नमस्ते।
Hey.
Namaste, namaste.
गुड इवनिंग सर, गुड इवनिंग।
Dr. R.S. Yadav also has joined today.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
Yeah.
गुड इवनिंग डॉक्टर यादव।
KK, Helena is joining since beginning.
Oh, really?
Helena, you
Great.
remember from...
Hello, Dr. KK.
Yeah. Nice to see you.
How are you?
You open
I'm
your
fine.
video, Helena, and then say hello to... There are two stalwarts, Dr. R.S. Yadav and Dr. K. Krishnamurthy.
Hello, Dr. Yadav.
Hello. Hello, Dr. Anil Prakash. Seeing you after a long time.
Sir, after a very, very long time, how are you?
I'm fine.
Free man
Thank you.
now he's a free man.
Now, superannuated on 31st of August.
अच्छा, चलो तो ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, अगली जर्नी स्टार्ट हो जाएगी जो।
बस अब घर में बैठे हुए बेकार, कार से बेकार हो गए।
नहीं बेकार क्यों हो गए? अब सबसे प्रोडक्टिव लाइफ होती है 60 से 80 साल की।
ये अनिल देखो,
हाँ,
जब MRC छोड़ा था बहुत पहले,
हाँ,
जब MRC में थे तो रजनीकांत को पता है,
हाँ,
डॉक्टर उपरेती होते थे, उन्होंने बाद में
हाँ।
छोड़ करके अपनी शुरू करी थी क्लिनिक।
अच्छा,
उनके इनाग्रेशन में मैं, अदक, बत्रा, ये लोग सब गए थे। तो अपनी कुर्सी बाहर निकल के बोले, मतलब दूर हटके,
हाँ।
ये कुर्सी मेरी है, डिसीजन मैं लेता हूँ।
ठीक है, ठीक है।
हाँ भैया।
Just a minute, just a minute. So we are not starting.
Let's start, Dr. RS.
Okay.
ನಂಗೆ ಸಂಡೇ ಆದ್ರೂ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸಿಗ್ಲಿಲ್ವಾ?
ಏನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ
आवाज काफी आ रहे हैं, पहले उसको बंद करवा लीजिए।
सबका स्टॉप ऑफ कर दो।
ಡಿಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಏನು ಮುಂದಿನ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ
We are going to start now, dear participant. Please mute your mic. Please mute your mic.
ಅದೇ ಸಣ್ಣ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡೋದು ನಿಂದ ಏನ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಏನೇ ಮಾಡಿ ನೆನಪಿಲ್ಲ ಹೋಮ್ ನಿಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾವ್ದು.
So good evening, friends.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನು ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ತರಬೇಕು ನಾವು.
Absolute Human Healthcare Foundation again welcomes all of you. And today there is a very important topic on ITNs, LLINs in relation to malaria. Dr. Pradhan, our eminent malariologist of our country, he will speak on this topic. And I am just giving brief of Dr. M M Pradhan. Dr. Pradhan at present working as a additional director in the Department of Health and Family Affairs, Government of Odisha, and is one of the leading malariologists of our country. Dr. Pradhan graduated from Odisha Premier Medical College, Cuttack, and got MBBS degree during 1987. Later on, he pursued Master's in Applied Epidemiology from National Institute of Epidemiology, Chennai, with a CDC supported course. Dr. Pradhan is working tirelessly since last 2 decades to eliminate malaria from the state of Odisha. His out of the box thinking and innovative initiatives, especially the state level program, Durgam Anchalare Malaria Nirakaran, that is malaria elimination in difficult and inaccessible areas, has brought down significantly more than 80% of malaria cases and deaths in the state during 2018. And this has been acclaimed by World Health Organization. He has been serving in different positions of Health and Welfare Department, Government of Odisha since more than 3 decades. He has a wide range of experience starting from grassroots level health services delivery at the hard to reach areas to the state level headquarters with different programs and evidence-based decision-making process. He played a major role in the establishing the Odisha Multi-Disease Surveillance System, OMDSS, after 1999 super cyclone. With the support of MSF, International NGO, and World Health Organization, and an excellent example of setting up disease surveillance system in the context of disaster in a resource-poor settings, it is noteworthy that after some years, OMDSS has been transformed in the IDSP in India, and Odisha had become a part of the National Integrated Surveillance System. Dr. Pradhan was instrumental in mobilizing administrative and political support to launch the innovative Daman program in hard-to-reach areas of the state and protecting vast majority of high malaria risk population with long-lasting insecticide nets under the Global Fund support. While heading Odisha's NVDCP program in the capacity of SPO, it is noteworthy that Daman is a fully state-owned malaria elimination implemented during 2017 and excellent example of program implementation based on the research evidence. Prior to launching Daman, Dr. Pradhan had conducted the Operational Research Comprehensive Case Management Program, CCMP, with the technical support of ICMR, NIMR, and World Health Organization, with the financial support of MMV Geneva. Evidence generated from CCMP and the field experience therein helped to Dr. Pradhan to plan for the large-scale implementation of Daman. All credit goes to Dr. Pradhan for large-scale timely distribution of LLINs and rigorous implementation of Daman in high-burden malaria districts. This could be bring incredible success to malaria program in Odisha by reducing more than 80% malaria cases, I already mentioned, within a period of 2 years. This is a WHO annually malaria report 2018 attributed India's success in controlling malaria to the decline of malaria cases in the state of Odisha by an unprecedented 84%, till recently the highest malaria-endemic province of India. In fact, Dr. Pradhan was invited to launch event of World Malaria Report 18 held by WHO at Maputo, Mozambique on 19th November 2018, where he to address 10 African countries on his Odisha experience in malaria reduction. Daman not only helped defeating malaria in Odisha in accessible corridors, but also proved the worth of taking risk at macro level. It is noteworthy that Daman deviated from the prescribed way of doing things, which are already available as top to bottom approach. Dr. Pradhan has also demonstrated that with local government funding and community driven approach, malaria can be defeated. Due to Dr. Pradhan's hard work and continuous efforts in Odisha has achieved a milestone in malaria elimination drive and created a new benchmark of Odisha's health sector by being mission driven and result oriented. However, he gives credit to the political will, favorable health administration, multidisciplinary team members of the state, districts, CSCs, PSCs, sub-centers and villages, especially more than 37,000 ASA workers of the state. Dr. Pradhan, besides getting the work done in the public system or government sector, Dr. Pradhan additional strength is to mobilize and involve multiple stakeholders in malaria elimination drives. As health department alone can't just to do everything, so he too puts up implementation convergence mechanism with other departments, research bodies, civil societies, international agencies. Dr. Pradhan's work has generated a great deal of optimism among the stakeholders, especially government and non-government organizations, to make Odisha malaria free by 2030. He is sharing his experience with ICMR as a member of technical committees on malaria and biology department of New York University. He was also a member of technical advisory committee of Gates Foundation, Malaria Division, United States of America. Irrespective of his hectic schedule of active involvement in multiple priorities of the government health department in an economically backward state, like Odisha, Dr. Pradhan has published papers in different peer-reviewed journals, which is also a major achievement for any non-academic medical doctor. His latest policy brief has been highly useful for malaria control amid COVID-19 priorities. He has also authored 20 books on health and nutrition issues in Odia language. It is needless to mention that he taught prestigious institutions besides addressing the delegates and scientific communities of several important conferences. He also conducted few program evaluation of government and civil society organizations. He was also involved with Bharat Gyan Vigyan Samiti for total literacy and health campaign as a member of All India People Science Congress and founder member of Public Health Resource Network. He is recently honored by Indian Society of Malaria and Other Communicable Disease and National Academy of Vector-Borne Disease for his contribution towards public health malaria elimination in Odisha. He is a follower of Sri Aurobindo Philosophy and Education and also a founder of eminent school affiliated with the New Life Education Trust based on Sri Aurobindo Education Philosophy. Last but not the least, he is a popular writer and poet for his occasional contribution to contemporary Odia literature like Ronald Ross. So the best contribution what I think, he is my old friend. 2016, 43% malaria cases of the country contributed by Odisha state, and 2018 only 18% cases of our country contributed by Odisha state. It is 25% percentage decline from 2016 to 2000. Really, it is a biggest achievement, and we are happy that Dr. M M Pradhan is with us. So that is all about brief of Dr. Pradhan. I again welcome Dr. Patrick Munasar, Director from South Africa Malaria Program. So Dr. Pradhan, please start your PPT. Thank you very much.
Dr. Pradhan, please share your PPT.
Yeah. It is thanks Dr. Sharma for elaborating.
You can put on full screen mode, slideshow.
Yeah.
This is full screen. Yes, it is there. It is there. Will start.
Yeah, it is okay.
Okay, okay.
So thanks, Dr. Sharma, for introducing me to such a august audience. And from the beginning, I'm just saying that I'm a medical doctor, but I love entomology. In that because
Dr. Pradhan, can I interfere? Please
yeah.
click view on your screen. View. Okay.
Okay.
Click,
Okay. View.
then choose full screen. There would be somewhere full screen. Let's see.
View.
Then put F5. Press F5.
Because it's a PDF file, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So
I think it is PDF file. That's why it is like that.
No, you can always, even PDF file can also be viewed in full view.
So should I take the other one? Is it okay?
Or maybe on the right top corner, you have a X type structure. If you can click that, I think that will open your full view. Yes. Oh, that's no.
Oh, Dr. Pradhan, you sent me the PowerPoint. Why don't you open that?
Yeah, that I can do.
You open PowerPoint. Or you want me to open?
Can let me see.
You open the PowerPoint.
Munno.
मुन्नू को बुलाओ जल्दी कर दो.
You can do from your side.
Can do.
Okay, if you have his PPT, you can make the, you can share it.
You want me to share the screen, Dr. Pradhan?
Yeah, you can share.
Okay, you close this thing.
You stop sharing. That option will be there, no? Hello, Patrick.
Hello.
This is Kalpana. Patrick.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Greetings to everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good
Welcome.
to see you.
Dr. Pradhan, if you open your PDF file, just Control and L, then it will open the full screen.
Control L.
Yeah, Control plus L. Control L.
Dr. Pradhan, you can go on speaking. I have already shared.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So let me.
Are you seeing this slide on the screen?
But I'm not able to.
Yeah,
make
we can. Yeah, it is visible.
Yeah, I'm visible or not? I don't know.
No,
You are also visible. Are you seeing the slides?
Yeah, I'm seeing the slide.
Okay, please go ahead then.
So okay.
Your only thing you have to tell next. Then I will do it.
Yeah. So first Dr. Sharma has introduced very elaborately, but I don't know that I'm fitting to that. But I am a medical, as I've shown beginning, I am a medical doctor. So I will be speaking on this entomology aspect, though I love the entomology as I'm involved in malaria. So in that context, today the topic has been given on ITN and LLIN. And but since my malaria career, I'm involved with these two instruments very largely in Odisha. And in that context, I will discuss on that topic. I will request the next slide. So, as you know, this mosquito net has a historical background. We do not, there is a, um, there is,
You have to talk little louder.
yeah, in the medieval Indian literature, there is a mention of use of mosquito net in Hindu worships. And the poetry composed by the Annamaya of the Telugu musician and poet. They have also mentioned the in Telugu, that is Domatara, which means mosquito net. So means the mosquito net, whether it was used for mosquito net or not, but it has been in the literature since ages. And also it has been mentioned that the Cleopatra, the last active pharaoh of ancient Egypt, that is 58 BC, slept under a mosquito net. So mosquito nets were used during the malaria plague construction of the Suez Canal also between 1859 to 1869. So, but the malaria knowledge, the knowledge of the malaria transmission cycle, that it comes to the mosquito vector, was known after the discovery by Sir Ronald Ross in 1880. So the historical records say that mosquito nets were used since mid 18th century. So in that sense, the net was there and net was used and in various scale, though everybody was not using, but in various scale in throughout the globe in different countries and different population. And the mosquito net, to start with, I'm saying in plain mosquito net how it is constructed. Everybody knows, but I'm saying that these are the mosquito nets are used to prevent the bite from mosquitoes and other insect during sleep. And when I was interviewing in a community in a tribal area, I asked, why are you using this mosquito nets? They are saying we are using the mosquito net because the snakes, we are preventing snake bites. They are not saying mosquito bite, because snakes were, there are a lot of deaths in that community with the snake bite. But by this mosquito net given, LLIN given, the snakes are not coming inside. So that was their first things. So I'm saying it is not only mosquito net or insect, but there are other animals which are the dangerous for the human being also prevented if you use the barrier. So mosquito net works as a barrier, and it may be constructed by cotton, polythene, polyester, polypropylene, or nylon. And the mesh size differs. It may be 1.2 millimeter to prevent mosquito entry, and smaller mesh size may be 0.6 millimeter to prevent biting of the other insects. So the plain, we have three types of nets. When these new nets that we are using now, they are not in the program. We are using the plain nets, and plain nets are used by the community people. Those who have money, they are buying from the market. And plain nets works as only as a physical barrier. But the next nets are insecticide treated net. So they act both as physical barrier and also chemical barrier. And not only prevents mosquito bites, but they repel and kill the mosquitoes. So there's a double role, and that synergize the strength of preventing mosquito bites. So there are two types of mosquito nets are available with this insecticide treatment. That is insecticide treated nets, or we call ITN, and sometimes we call them ITBN also. Insecticide treated bed nets. Then we have the long lasting insecticidal nets, LLIN. So use of mosquito nets of any type is a personal protection method, because in malaria control, we say personal protection, in the vector control program, we have personal protection method, that is the net use and the indoor residual spray. So this is the, and other use of the repellent, etc. But this is now the LLIN or ITN. These are the two major personal protection method well accepted in the community. Next, please. Next, yeah. So the insecticide treated nets, that is called ITN or ITBN. These are developed and tested in 1980s for malaria prevention by Dr. P. Carnevale and his team in Bobo Dialocus, Burkina Faso. And the plain mosquito nets treated with insecticides are known as insecticide treated nets, or as I said, it is treated bed nets. And the two in synthetic pyrethroid compounds that are used for this are permethrin and deltamethrin. And the benefits of this ITN is already I've said, it repel the mosquitoes and kill the mosquitoes when come in contact. Thus, helps in breaking the man malaria transmission cycle. Next, please. So the inherent problem with this ITN, because the plain nets are manually treated at 6 months interval, because the effect of the insecticide can go up to 6 months. And so this require retreatment after every 6 months. And if when we are in the program, you are doing a mass scale of treatment, it has different logistic problem. It requires recurrent operational cost, micro planning, intensive community mobilization, and community has to wash and dry the nets and bring to the treatment camp site. So this becomes a very heavy load on the program part. And sometimes that is why at each 6 month interval, it is also practical. First time it may be practical, the second time it becomes difficult. And so that is the inherent problem with ITN. And another problem is that when there is residual insecticides there, so though there is another, so 10 ml, 20 ml this or 30 ml, whatever is how to dispose them. Though we have a guideline to dispose them, when you do in a mass scale, disposal of these insecticidal residue becomes difficult. And sometimes guidelines are there, you have trained people, but they say that okay, this small amount they can throw anywhere, and they can wash near the tube well, etc., and that becomes a hazard. And so there is a risk of improper handling of the insecticide, and that causes the health hazard. And now LLIN have replaced the ITN in most of the countries, in most of the places, and that has been upscaled. So that is, we'll go to the next component is LLIN. Next slide, please.
Please speak little louder.
Yeah, okay. I'm heard now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So before going to this LLIN, just we say that there are how to impregnate a net. We say two terms. One is impregnation of the net, or sometimes we say treatment of the net. So these are the 10 steps already in our guideline. You can go to the website also find this guideline. So collect the necessary equipment, means bucket, etc., and your insecticide and gloves, all these things. Collect the necessary equipment. Put on protective gloves before treating the nets, because this is insecticide poisonous. So you have to use the gloves. Measure the correct amount of water. And suppose as per the size of the net, you have to take the water and also the correct amount of insecticide. 10 ml per single size net, we say that 10 ml for 1 liter of water. So mix the water and insecticide thoroughly by gloved hands in a basin, and then treat the net. Then dry the nets, and the nets will be dried inside. Then, as I said, disposal of the leftover mixture of water and insecticide and the insecticide container. This part, though we have all the guidelines, we have trained people, this becomes very difficult. And washing the cleaning of hands, equipment, etc., and washing and retreatment of the nets. So these are the 10 steps in the ITN. And we do in the program, we do the mass treatment of the nets at fixed and designated sites, fixed date, designated sites, so that people know that here there will be the ITN. This is done in a campaign mode when you go in a large scale. The people should know the site, know the designated date, all these things. And insecticide treatment is done in both types of nets, like the cotton net and the synthetic nets. Next, please. So now we are coming to the next part of the net, that is long-lasting insecticidal net, and in short we call LLIN. Everybody knows that in our villages also, after so many intervention, people say LLIN, and we write in Odia also LLIN. Means that term has been converted to the local dialect in that. So this is LLIN. The people they do not people say like that. So this is we say that this is a most cost-effective intervention now in the personal protection method of vector control, because it has throughout the globe, if you say the last 1 decades, the malaria declining. It is said it is a major contribution is by the LLIN, and insecticide treatment is done in the mosquito net, while in the process it is in the factory, and thus you see the effect of the insecticide that continues more than 3 years. Some say 3 years to 5 years. So in that context, we do not need retreatment of the net. Means this protects a longer time, that I can say more than 6 times of the ITN. So that is one benefit. And this is only one time activity. You distribute, give the message to people, then later on also in the routine program you give the message to sleep under the net. And so this is and this has a consistent insecticidal effect, exert, excite or repellent action constantly, even when not in use. So this is one major thing. Then let's go to the next slide. So these are the pre-qualified LLIN manufacturers, and this WHO pre-qualified, and these are the 12 manufacturers available under the public health program. And in India, we see the two farms, Sobika Impex Private and Westergaard. These are the two players, the two farms. They are mostly major supplier in India. And also in the last, in 2007, we got majorly from these two farms, large quantity of LLIN. Next, please. So there are different sizes of LLIN, and we have to discuss what is the quality criteria. As in the program in India, LLIN procured and distributed through the public health program, and it comes to the Government of India national program. Sometimes majorly we had got major in World Bank program also we got LLIN, and also in Global Fund program also we got the LLIN, and also Government of India procures LLIN. And also some states, like our state also procured LLIN in some years. So, these are the nets available, like the rectangular small single size. Mainly we in our country, we are all the nets are rectangular in shape. And I've seen in African other countries also they have other types of cells. But majorly we get rectangulars, and the small size, that is the I mentioned the length, width, and height, and the medium size, that is double size. You got double size nets, and the sizes are like this, as mentioned in the slide. And also rectangular, large, and we call family size, and these are like this. So these three types of nets are supplied through the program. And in these airline, whatever the insecticide being used, so Olisate net, which has 2% of permethrin, is incorporated into the polyethylene fibers. In permanate, it is delta methrin, and in interceptor, a target dose of 200 milligram alpha cypermethrin. And these are the different sizes of nets. And some studies now reported that the pyrethroid combined with piperonyl butoxide, that is PBO, have shown promising result in increasing susceptibility of the vector mosquitoes. But its advantage over plain L9 on entomological and epidemiological outcomes is yet to be well defined. But we are now depending upon the nets which are mentioned above. Next. So the insecticidal efficacy of the LLIN, the insecticides retain their efficacy in the fabrics against the vector mosquito is a minimum of 3 years. And they say up to 3 to 5 years, but we take 3 years for a comfortable period. And it tolerates around 20 to 25 standard washing. Standard washing means we say that the washing should be gentle with no detergent or a smaller detergent in plain water and drying in shade. I'm saying lesser detergent in the sense in the community we say that there is a one room and the kitchen is nearby and people sleep nearby. Though we say that they don't have space and we say that you stay away from these places and use at a distant places from the fire side. But sometimes they do not have a place and they sleep, suppose in the veranda and the kitchen is outside, the chula is outside. So sometimes the smoke covers the whole net fabrics and you will find that the whole net, the white net is totally dark. And in that case, the efficacy of the net doesn't work because the smoke has prevented the medicinal effect, the insecticidal effect of the net. So in that content, by just plain water washing, it will not go. So in those conditions, a lesser amount of detergent will help. And sometimes uh, the messages go that don't use lesser detergent, but unless we explain the people, they if they will do only plain water, then they will thrust the line in such a manner to wash out the smoke, the line will damage. So in that context, the lesser detergent is advisable. And LLN is being stored and handled with care to prevent premature loss of insecticide. And so when not in use, we should how to flip up the net and where to keep, these are to be said. And because in most of the tribal community, we see that they have not seen a net earlier, even a plain net. Now we are giving these nets. So how to use they do not know. Sometimes I can give you one example. When the previous in 2007-8, we have given a line in large scale in tribal belt. We found that some people do not know how to hang the net. Though we have given the message, we have demonstrated, they are not hanging the net in proper manner. We have seen, I can say a very peculiar story. In one village, we saw that people are hanging the net, but they're keeping 6 inches above the mattress. So why we asked why you are keeping like this? The net you have hang the net, but it is because they said that the ghosts are coming inside the net. The peculiar understanding. So then we understand that what you have to give the message in such a manner that they have to understand because they have not slept with a barrier like that. So the ghosts are coming inside. There are peculiar ideas coming to them, and that is a problem for them. So in that context, how to message to a community which you have not seen the net since their since ages, and suddenly you are given a net and you are saying sleeping under the net. So that you have to in such remote areas where the education is low and the messages are not going frequently by the media. There you have there are a lot of activities are taken to take out the myths from their mind. So when that I have said that they do not know how to keep it safe, and sometimes it is not a habit also in many places of educated people. We do not also keep the nets in that manner. So that was next, please. Next, please. So the durability of the line is that it depends upon the mostly two factors. Means the net attrition, that complete loss of the net, and the physical integrity. The holes and tears in net still existing in households. And the recommended measure of physical integrity is the proportionate hole index, that is PHI. And the recommended cutoff point are of three categories. The LLIN, that is we call good, means the PHI should be 0 to 64. There is no reduction of efficacy compared to an undamaged net. no reduction of efficacy compared to an undamaged net. That is called good. And what is acceptable means effectiveness somewhat reduced, but still provides significantly more protection than not no net at all. And then what is torn means damaged. The protective efficacy for the user is in serious doubt, and the net should be replaced urgently. So these are the three categories for the cutoff points. And so we have to see the first two, that is good and acceptable, are in serviceable condition. Next, please. So I can share with you the Odisha experience with a few slides. That Dr. Sharma said that Odisha could declining more than 80% of malaria with two things we did. One is large scale distribution of long lasting net in around 17 districts completely plus 3 districts partially. Means all the high endemic subcenters, I can say 90% of the high endemic subcenters were protected by LLIN, and it was a universal coverage. Universal coverage means all population, irrespective of the poverty, irrespective of caste, creed, and religion, all were given. And if there is urban area also, they are protected. Means I am saying the entire district of these 16 plus 17 plus 3, I am saying this population around 2 crores people under a risk of malaria area were protected by this in 2017. Earlier also we have the experience of airline in 2008 to 10, 11. We had got airline also in a little bit larger scale, 40 lakhs around, and also government of Odisha has procured. So we got some experience from that, and we changed our guideline in 2017 because we got around more than 11 million net at one go. And at this time, we had also we implemented our Daman, Durgama Anchalare Malaria Nirakaran, because that we did, as Dr. Sharma said, we had a previous study called Comprehensive Case Management. In that study, we found that in remote inaccessible area where the surveillance is poor, not regular, there we found 10 to 100% asymptomatic cases. So in spite of all our efforts with vector control or early diagnosis complete treatment, we saw that there is persistence of malaria transmission in those areas. So we thought that we are getting a lot of LLIN this time. So let us take the advantage that we clean the population of remote habitations by diagnosing all population, entire population with RDT, and if any case coming as positive, with or without fever, means may have symptom, may not have symptoms, will be treated with full course of malaria medicine appropriate to the parasite, and simultaneously they will be protected by LLIN. Means cutting breaking the transmission chain by killing the parasite and killing the mosquito, infected mosquito and other mosquito at the same time. That was the rider of the Daman. And other population which are not remote accessible, they will be protected with the routine program and also the LLIN. So this was the whole strategy in Odisha during 2017. We expected the LLIN to come in January. So that is means in the winter season. But this came in April and May. That is the summer, the hot summer with humid climate. And that was really just and we in that summer scorching sun, and Odisha the humidity is very high. We tried our best with a meticulous planning that the more than 11 million nets are distributed transparently through community mechanism in all the districts, and at the same time we followed up with the Daman activity. So that surprisingly, we got in the 17 itself, we got a huge reduction in malaria, and within 2 years, that was more than 85%. So, meaning that I'm saying breaking this cycle by airline and also in remote area where the asymptomatic reservoirs are more, intervening there. This both strategy has helped Odisha to bring down from 4.5 lakhs cases per year to only 39,000 in 2019. So that was the major achievement at that time, which has drawn the attention of the national level and international level. Even WHO, they called personally to attend their meeting, annual meeting, and also to communicate to the African countries what we did. So that was the real story behind. And so what we did a meticulous plan for the airline distribution at that time, because huge lot of airline, 1,500 truck, heavy trucks were to move from the storing site to the district to the CSEs, and there is a lot of apprehension that there may be theft, there may be many other things may happen. So we had a meticulous planning how the entire district will be with airline distribution perfectly with all transparency, and taking into confidence the whole community and political leadership and local politics and the government administration. That was a huge task. So we did our meticulous planning, a guideline, and we also took what are the available, what are the criteria by Government of India National Program. Taking all into consideration, we prepared our guideline, and we took API more than one sub center or the unit, and so the unit of distribution was API more than one sub center. But if one sub center is having less than one API in between, suppose there are other sub centers which are having more than one, but one sub center inside which has been less than one, that was also included, because that may be surveillance problem where the API is less. So in that context, we took as a whole the whole district where the API concern is there. So we are taking the entire district. We did not division the district into less than API or more than API. So in that context, the entire district was a unit for in that context. So this we prepared the whole guideline, and this guideline was approved by Honorable CM's office, and we have a steering committee at the principal secretary level, and similar steering committees were also at the district level under the chairmanship of collector, and then the block level officers at the block level. And also we included the police department, because we are apprehending there may be theft, there may be other crises. So also the police department was included in our steering committee, and a heavy intensive campaign was launched, both media, all types of media. It may be folk media, it may be electronic media, it may be print media, whatever available. So prior to distribution, during distribution, post distribution, and also distribution, where will be distributed, who will distribute, all were looked into this program. So one thing was when the whole district was taken as unit, and that was one component. Before that, we have not got so much net, so we had a cluster approach. The cluster approach means the malaria epidemiological, taking the malaria epidemiological indicator, we selected the blocks and sub-center cluster wise, and we had distributed like that. So my saying is that we have to take a geo-ecotypically high potential risk malaria zone as one unit, so that transmission cycle can be broken. So that was the principle between the whole district taken as a unit and cluster as a unit. Next, please. So I have already said, because this approach is because Anopheles mosquito doesn't discriminate poor and rich, caste and religion. So you have to take everything together. All population is a unit. All population of a cluster, all population of a district should be taken as unit. So in that context, there is urban, rural, poor, rich, caste, religion, everybody should be together. And our distribution maybe sub-center, cluster, sub-center, block, or district as a whole. That is the principle. So my message would be to that the states should adopt suitable criteria considering the practical need, and following factors would be taken into consideration. The malaria epidemiology, surveillance shadowed area, vulnerability of due to favorable geotypes, difficult to reach by health staff, contiguity of such vulnerable areas, subcenters sharing boundaries with other high endemic subcenters of other blocks and district and states. Next, please. So there should be a special emphasis for the protection of pregnant mother and under 5 children. So we have this was given a special emphasis on 1 to 2 paragraph in the guideline how to take care of this vulnerable
Please
population.
speak little loudly.
Yeah. So these are it is hard now.
Yes.
Hello. So next, please. So this is one aspect of planning, the calculation of household-wise LLIN. So aim should be to put the entire village or hamlet population under line protection. With this criteria, we have to have the planning. So hence, meticulous line listing is essential well in advance. Suppose you will get the line after 3 months. So before 3 months, all preparations should be made. And the criteria for line listing is that the household-wise and village-wise line listing is done by household survey using the standard format. Here we use the ASA and Anganwadi workers who are at the village level. Under the supervision of health worker, they do the survey and they have a record of them. And this is that record becomes the under the ownership of Gang Kalyan Samiti. Gang Kalyan Samiti is village health nutrition committee. And then we have to study the sleeping pattern of family members is to be looked into, because there are maybe adolescent, there may be old age people, there may be other traditional cultural background. All these things you have to take how they will be sleeping, whether by giving a bigger net, whether two people can sleep or not, because depends upon the old age husband and wife, they do not sleep together. Adolescent girls and boys are there, and many other factors are there, many taboos are there also. So keeping all those things also, you should have a flexibility in your guideline. This depends in tribal region and in the plain area, may be different cultural beliefs, taboos, and beliefs, your traditional practice. This has to be taken care of. So it is important to consider the single size line for adolescent boys and girls, widows, old people, and chronically ill persons. So those should be practically entered into your guideline. Next, please. So this we had a total activity, chronological activity, starting from the steering committee at the state level under the chairmanship principal secretary, and then at different level these steering committees are there. Then we had the planning, when to do the estimation of at-risk population, calculating the line requirement, prioritizing distribution, and then planning at state level, planning at district level, launching the ICBCS campaign, and undertaking supply and distribution function, having stores at different sites. A big state, it's having more than 46 million population and 30 districts, and the capital is at Bhubaneswar. It is at one end of the state, and then we divide the state into 4-5 zones and kept the store at different sites. And from those sites, the trucks will be the line will come from outside to the state, and from there with truck around each side 500 trucks are moving, and they are going to the CSC level. And then these from CSC level, the nets are given to the sub-center level. From sub-center level, they go to the village level, and it will be custodian of the line will be the Gang Kalyan Samiti, where the ASA, Anganwadi, and health worker and ward member, they are the main key people who have to handle all these things. Next, please. So this becomes ideal if you do have a single day distribution at community level. That brings energy and enthusiasm, that gives motivation, that likes a festive mood. Sometimes it may become possible, sometimes may not be possible, but we say that within 3-4 days, maximum 1 week, all the distribution should be finished in the area. But we have seen that people have district like Mayurbhanj, where there is 1.50 lakh children were given, and it is more than 25 lakh population. They have done 1.50 lakh line in a single day distribution. Bolangir district could do distribute 10 lakh line in 2 days in the summer months of 2017. So this was possible because the entire district administration was involved and other departments, starting from forest to police. I'm saying a large section of they were involved. So this gives a lot of enthusiasm, like a festive mood. People are, and also maximum coverage occurs, and community participation and transparency maintained, and local political leadership they come up, because it becomes an advantage for them to take the mileage and take the people's confidence by launching a LLIN distribution. So that gives a assurance also the program people that all people have all are participating, and there will be less pilferage, and there will be greater accountability. I can just say that just after this LLIN distribution 2017, more than 11 million nets, there are the assembly session. I was really thinking that many questions will come up in the assembly, and every day I have to answer many questions. But to your surprise, not a single question was floated in the assembly. So that I say that this success of a meticulous planning and involving the people from all sectors, and taking their confidence, and then uh, that I can say that okay, there may be some pilferage, like there may be some gaps like 5 to 10%, but that was not visible because of a huge work has been done at one go, and everybody was involved. So that is I can say the 2017 was a learning point for me also, how to manage a large scale line distribution in a campaign mode, taking the confidence of the government, taking the confidence of political leadership and community as large. So that is also a learning point for me, and so that is why I wanted to describe here, deliberate here, that such a thing can happen in this country. Next. So this is a challenging that I large scale LLMs already I have said is challenging, and with a fixed timeline. Within 4 months, more than 11 million nets and 1,500 trucks are moving, and people from all sectors are responsible, and taking the administration of the district, block, and state together, and giving them every day the messages what is happening here and there, what is the problem coming here and there, how to address our telephone, all out how to address by principal secretary or the political leadership. That is a huge task, but that can be done. We set up control room at each level, state, district, and block level. Like in disaster, we do control room. Similarly, for this campaign, we had control rooms. Next. Next, please. So the LLIN distribution and community mobilization. Only distribution has no meaning. If you distribute, people will keep that net in that trunk. They will not use. Many places they do not know what they will do with that. So you need to educate people, and that needs a lot of ICBC's activity, lot of community mobilization in different manner, in the language they will understand. Somewhere they will understand by speeches, somewhere they will understand by talking, somewhere they will understand by seeing a TV, radio, somewhere they need a folk dance, folk arts. So you have to do whatever medium you have, and this needs to be in the whole planning process. So we did through the Gang Kalyan Samitis who took the ownership. We prepared the household-wise line listing, pre-distribution awareness campaign, receiving a line stock, mobilizing community to campsite, handling the nets, monitoring post-distribution strategy, and also demonstrating the line how to use during the camp distribution at the distribution camp. So All these things were done together, but still the messages may not go to every head at the same wavelength. So then you have to do, after distribution, you have to see what is being done. We see that when the campaign is very weak, then people will have nets, but they will not use. That we have seen in different time where the campaign is weak, the line use is not there. But we then will say that okay, we have distributed so much line and there is no effect because the line has not been used, and then we blame the line. So that sometimes it goes out of our sight, and we do not get any effect. Next, please. So this is important because cell line, though it is cost effective, also it has a cost. We are not manufacturing a line; we are getting a line from outside, and sometimes now we are getting regularly. But it was earlier a daydream that whether LLIN will come next time, that was a doubt. So to keeping the LLIN proper use of line and its maintenance is an important aspect. So how to keep the physical integrity and the insecticidal efficacy of a line for a longer period? The following messages must be disseminated prior to the distribution and during distribution. Sometimes people may have reluctance using the line because there may be some itching effect like that, and that becomes a rebound phenomena. So you have to address that way. As we in MDS sometimes taking simple DC, somebody vomited, and immediately media will say that this drug given by government is so bad that people are vomiting. And then unless you have a mechanism to address that, then the whole campaign will be lost into a bad phase. In like that, if airline use somebody have a itching and that message goes to the whole village, nobody will sleep on a airline. So the message should be very perfect in that sense. To use the airline is safe, and how it is safe, how it may have itching, etc. All these messages should be given in advance. And then we have to say what is this line, why it is better than the other nets, and how many days it can work, like 3 years, like that. And when dirty, the lines should be clean, as we have said, by light wash or lesser detergent when smoked. I have already said that. And the line, and we have to say that line can tolerate 20 to 25 light washes. And 25 to 25 light washes means they have to be said that in a year 4 to 5 times. Or in a year like that, we have to say in a manner which they understand. Generally, so many times people wash in the tribal areas, other area more times, because for any festive or any mishap in the family, they will wash it. So that way you have to explain how to reduce the wash. But in many educated family, they wash 6 months apart like that. So it's not a problem here, but there it's a problem. So after washing, how to dry? Sometimes we see that they dry in the sun, and then you have to explain how to dry in the shade. Where is the shade available in the house? That you have to say. And then how to store properly by flipping up when not in use in the daytime. And all these things will give a longer life. Sometimes we see that the net efficacy is very good, but the net is damaged. There is holes, etc. Because they do not use properly. They keep anywhere. So that has to be given a good message in that sense. Next, please. So this becomes a problem. In initial stage, we found this is a problem. We didn't know that it will come as such a huge problem in the first distribution. So immediately we took a measure what to give the message. Though it was in our guideline, but it was not being disseminated properly at the community level. People saw their classes, they complained. So we have to say that these messages like new line, hang for 1 to 2 days in a shade before use. If wet, dry it in shade before use. If itching effect is there, wash body parts with plain water. Urinate. Such minor reactions automatically will go away within 2 to 3 days. These messages should be clearly in the local dialect, should be messaged, transmitted fully, and for full protection, they have to taught at many places. You have to teach them how to hang. Mainly, they have not seen a line, and they do not know how to hang. So how the strings can be put on the four corner, the strings are there, how to use those strings, how to tag, and how to tuck them under the mat and mattress, because they may not take and the mosquito can enter from the below. and the major message, there's one room and the kitchen is there, the chulas are there. So that message should be go, don't hang near fire. And we have seen people have their own, because we said that when you are going to the field like maize cultivation or in forest, some people stay inside the forest because they have cultivation field. So when we campaign, we say that at any moment during sleep, during monsoon season and winter season, when they are there, they should sleep under the net. So we saw that people under their manchas, that is in a tree on top, they have used like this. So this we have seen in the most difficult area, tribal pockets, they have managed like this. So when we explain people and explain the gravity of the malaria and the protection by LLIN, they will use their own methods. Next, please. So this again is a course. This becomes a very huge challenge because the insecticide is there in the line, and you have to have a safe disposal when it is torn out, damaged, and when you are replacing the new line. These are the time when you need safe disposal. How to have self disposal, and within the program, it is a really challenge, and we have to follow the WHO recommendations. So the only thing we have to give the message that continue using a line even if they are having holes until another line is in better condition is available to replace it. We have also given message in our camps that when there is small holes which can be mended, which can be stitched by the household members, by the females, and the GKS members have been advised to teach them that the small holes can be mended and they can use it. So this should be also the part of the campaign, and instruct not to dispose old and damaged lines in any water body or near to any water body. Residual insecticide on a line can be toxic to aquatic organism, especially to fish and also for their own use. So these messages should be there. Then how to really have this disposal? This incineration that we have, the recycling or incinerations is not possible in our field setting. There is no provision that those way. So the only way that we can bury in a distant place from the water sources, and this is the only method we have now. But the research institutes involved in trial, they may formulate a draft guideline for safe disposal of L9, which the program can do. If something very ideal thing is been advocated or prescribed, then the public health system may not be able to do because there is a lot of gaps. And but LLIN, we need LLIN, but disposal should be also easier. So that I think research institute can help us. And also, as it is the line contains small portion of total plastic, this should be also part of the general solid waste management, and that has to be operationalized. Though it is can be done, but it has not been the part of the yet functionally done by the solid waste management. Next, please. Yeah. So I have already next, please. This we have discussed. But one thing here, the following next, please. Previous slide. Yeah. How about the follow? Yeah. Next slide. I'm saying LLIN disposal slide. Previous slide. Hello. Yeah. So taking all this into consideration, the following practices are to be strictly avoided. That reuse of LLIN bags. Sometimes the LLINs have been put in the plastic bags. If we are not opening the bags during distribution time, they may use those bags for taking vegetables or rice or anything. So while giving the line, you have to tear the bag and put in the store, not to give to the people. And burning of line bags and burning material in open air, as there is a risk of emission of harmful substances that may pollute local air, surface water should be avoided. And disposing of airline bags and contaminated boiling materials are as ordinarily waste or in proper sanitary landfills. So these to be strictly avoided. So sometimes if we give a line with a bag, that all you have to create a total hazard in the community level. Next, please. So I have already said that generating awareness to upscale line is after the giving the line to the community. So there should be pre-publicity activities, creating demand for line at the community level. Before the line reaches, there should be activities. And we have to say that when it will be distributed, where it will be distributed, time of distribution, and who will be there for the distribution. For this, the ASA and Anganwadi worker and other Gang Kalyan Samiti member like the ward members, etc. They have to be oriented. And in Odisha, we do a wall writing activity. In each village, there is a bulletin wall, health bulletin wall, we say. And there the Rasa writes all these things, messages. Drum beating by the informer at village level. Traditionally there are drum beaters, so they are used also in many villages, and they remind the date, venue, and time of distribution on the previous day. And during the distribution, we should have demonstrations on hanging, storing when not used, and how to dry the nets, how to dry the net on the set. So all these should be demonstrated and spoke very well in the local language and repeatedly. And the school students, they become the good messengers and they become the good demonstrators. And if the school students are involved, the messages go directly to their villages, to their community, to their house. Next, please. So the social mobilization we had is in Odisha, we called a Nidhi Ratha campaign. Means a character was called Nidhi Rath, Nidhi, who was he was affected by malaria earlier. Then he was saved from malaria and he understood how malaria occurs. Then he became an advocate in the community level, how to prevent malaria. So LLN was one message in that. There are songs, traditional folk arts, mixture, many things are there. So that becomes interesting in many places. We have trained many troops and they were moving at that time to different places to say all these things, even tribal dialect, common dialect, all dialect, as per the suitability of the area, this was made. So that taking the clues from the malaria program, many other also program, they say that Nidhi Ratha campaign. So we have seen in immunization program, we have seen in leprosy program, other program, but the originator of this program was the malaria program that we did in 2010 first, then in 2017 we repeated. Next, please. So again, monitoring and evaluation of the whole process is very important. So whether the airline has been distributed properly, all the people have got or not, and whether they are using or not, these are all very important things. And how they are using, whether they are tagging well, talking well, or they are flipping up well or not, all these things have to be monitored. And sometimes in some villages, whether they are really to give a alert at the evening. So some multiple innovative practices have been followed, like blowing whistle, or ringing a bell, beating drums in evening hours to promote use of airline, and also making simultaneous visit to the household to verify airline use. This we did in 2007, very in a campaign mode throughout the state in those where airline was distributed. So different areas have adopted different methods as per their local innovations. So this gave a mindset among the community people, and a lot of motivation came up in that line. But this season was rainy season and then followed by winter, so there was appreciable use of line because that time was not humid and hot. Next. And we have a lot quality assurance sampling, one evaluation method in the program. So there LLI is a module, and that module is followed. And from that, we know what is the LLI use rate in different parts. So this, we use the program LQS for LLI also. There is a separate module for this. Next, please. This becomes a challenge. LLI use in hot and humid weather. I'm saying from March to June mid-June. This is a time in Orissa, in many parts of the coastal states, I can say it's hot and humid weather. Even I feel suffocated going inside the nets. If I have a AC room, then I can go inside. Or I have good fans, I can go inside. But people do not have that luxury to have in those places some fans or AC. So they have to depend. And indoor is a many people do not have windows properly, and it is a hot inside, hot outside. So, but this period, I am saying May, June, this period also the transmission starts with because there are some rain in between, and transmission start by the second week of May, June, and that become a very critical period if we depend only on a line. So what to be done in those things that I have asked to many people, please give some alternative. Airline is not answer in these months. I am saying March, April, May, and June on the whole. You say that's a humid and hot climate. Maybe different set of different seasons, different months. But Odisha up to end of June, this is a very difficult time to sleep inside net. So but we have taken measures when people sleep outside, they have air, good air. So we say that when you're sleeping outside, sleep inside the net. How to tag the net with 4 sticks on the 4 corners of the cut. And these have been practiced in many tribal areas. So they use that and we encourage that. And sometimes where they do not have this practice, we demonstrate that also that in those villages that are using that, you use like that. So those things can be demonstrated when they sleep outside. But sometimes women sleep inside, women sleep in the veranda, and many people. So those things are there. So sometimes it may not be practicable to give 100% guarantee that everybody is protected during this season with line. So the alternative is indoor residual spray in that season. Again, the indoor residual spray in a summer months, in these months, it is becoming difficult to operationalize the IRS in time in summer when there is water scarcity and the temperature is at 40, 45 degrees centigrade. So all these things should be thought of by my friends in the entomology division. What to do? What should the strategy in this month, which can push the malaria upsurge in June and July? Next, please. So this is a COVID time. This year is 19 COVID time. Everybody is in COVID. All the staffs are in COVID. So attention drawing, the COVID is taking half of the attention of everybody. And mass gathering is not allowed. To have a campaign, you have so much restriction. So you have only method that you have to do interpersonal communication, but you need a lot of staff for that also. So what to do in this condition? This year, I am saying the example of Malkanagiri, which saw an upsurge of malaria very rapidly because of people could not use the line during that's a very hot district. In summer, it is very hot. In winter, also very cold. So in that conditions, I saw people having a line, but they are not able to sleep inside the night. So the malaria upsurge was very high, and we cannot have gatherings, we cannot have forecasts, we cannot campaign more. So what to do? So in that context, when I was given the responsibility to go and give technical support, I saw that okay, what to do? So with the mask in the face and keeping a 6 feet distance, what to do? So we immediately procured around these handset mics. So in the handset mics, there is a system that we can put in our the chips. We they have prepared their songs, have prepared their messages, and they put in that mic. And the ASA, health worker, or any other staff, they are able to give the message in the evening times that sleep under the net, and this is the benefit of the net like that. So they could do that, and all the departments, other departments mobilized under the leadership of collector, they adopted villages, and this messaging was done by the miking. And also we have seen in many, because one of the our health staff, they suggested that we can bell the ring, we can this and they also did in many places in each village either a whistle or a bell. They started alerting people sleep under net. So these are the some method in COVID situation, we can also disseminate it with the restriction of mass gathering that the people should sleep under net. So this has helped a lot, and we see that we did this intervention in June in Malkanagiri, and then there is a massive use of the LLIN during June, July, and other activities are upscaled in the midst of COVID. And we saw there is now 77% declining of malaria, which is shooting in June like anything. So that was my learning also how to work in a COVID situation for malaria control. And though I got corona infected by my moving to these districts, but it's a great learning for me that amidst all this problem, you can think differently and do differently and also tackle malaria. Then next. So then when we are giving a large scale intervention with LLIN, having insecticidal poison, you should have to learn what is the entomological aspect of that intervention. But the periodical entomological assessment in LLIN area, monitoring of vector density, vector behavior, insecticide resistance, status of vectors, whether the fluviatilis mosquito is dying, how much they are dying, whether the cool species is coming up, when they are not in the direct, when they are resting in the cow shed, whether they are dying or not, because if fluviatilis mosquito is affiliated to the man's blood, so they will come closer and they will die. But the cool species is dying or not, or how much they are dying, all these studies need to be done by the entomological study division. And also we have to see the verification of physical integrity and the net attrition, and also the impact of indoor targeted interventions like LLIN and IRS. These are the combined, whether when we're working a combination of these two methods in some places, we have to see the result of the alone LLIN and the combo approach and other things. But the constraint is that in a huge state like Odisha, there is a need lot of entomological team strength. We have the VBD consultant, we have the VBD technical monitoring staffs. So I will be requesting Dr. Barua and my friends who are too much expert, have too much expertise on the retired also from the program. They are also now coming up contributing voluntarily for this effect. I would request that we should build up these public health entomological teams with the existing manpower. We may not be able to appoint new entomologists, and there are known entomological courses in the universities. So taking the experience of the biology streams of people which we have, whether we can train them on basic entomology, and they can study all these things, they generate evidences, and the program can work on those evidences for a new direction. Malaria elimination, for me, I think, though we have declaring that we can do by 2030, we are hopeful, but I see lot of entomological intervention strength is needed. Though I am from medical background, but my conviction is that without the entomological support, whatever we do with the drugs, with parasites, we may not be able to do much, because the mosquitoes, they anyhow will take the human blood, take the parasite, and do their nuisance at any moment. So in that context, I again invite my friends that what can be done in this context. If we do not act now, perhaps it will rebound sometimes, and then we'll think that malaria can be eliminated after 200 years. So this chance we should not miss. Next, please. So this is, I'm saying this message we give, and we say that every day they are sleeping under the net, and they use the line or ITN. This is the message we provide during this campaign, and I think I could convey my experiences with ITN and LLIN, and I end my deliberation here. Thank you.
Dr. Pradhan, for excellent presentation on planning, organization, and implementation of LLIN interventions for interruption of transmission in all the districts of Odisha state. And no doubt there is an impact of LLIN. If you see malaria mortality decreased from 77 deaths in 2016 to 9 deaths in 2018. So this is a impact assessment. Somebody is asking in our chat group. This is the impact. So Dr. Pradhan, my worry is that during the current year there is a again there is a challenge for malaria control because there is some increase by 35% up to June. I don't know, you know very well. So, okay, this is a small challenge for all of you. Now you again come back to program. I want to tell all this group that Dr. Pradhan has left due to some policy decisions of government of Odisha from malaria department to some other organizations. But due to this problem, again he has joined this malaria organization. Pradhan, am I correct?
Yeah, I'm given the responsibility to provide technical support to the state and to the district.
Yes, good, good. So now we are lucky that Dr. Pradhan again joined this department, and again congratulations, excellent presentation. Now I request Dr. P.K. Srivastava to welcome our international guest as well as technical discussion on ITN and LLIN. Thank you, Dr. P.K. Srivastava.
Thank you, RS. Thank you. Thank you. And Dr. Pradhan, really amazing presentation. Let me tell you, it is really amazing presentation. What we expected, you have delivered much more than that. And we are very lucky because there have been expert, and Dr. R.S. Yadav has been responding to some of the very good query, because one terminology is very, very new for the program people, that they were asking about how to measure the holes and the PHI, and he has been responding. He has given the link also for the WHO website, that what is the measurement of thumb or this. So he will be, I'll request him. Before that, I would like that Dr. Patrick has joined, and if he is listening me, he can unmute, I mean both the things, sound and his video, and then he can say a few words after listening, because this will be first thing today for him. Is there Dr. Patrick is there? He's listening. Yes, Dr. Patrick, please.
Thank you very.
Hi, please.
Thank you very much. Good evening, colleagues and friends from South Africa. I listened to this presentation by Dr. Pradhan with a great degree of interest, and I've learned a lot. I think this is one of the first LLIN ITN presentations I've listened to and I've understood. It was very, very comprehensive. We do not use LLINs in South Africa, as you probably know. We are IRS country that focuses mainly on indo-residual spraying, using DDT, by the way, that's produced by India. I had to say that for colleagues who are on the call. But the point I wanted to raise is I want to also thank the organizers for this interesting gathering. I mean, on the Sunday afternoon, to have 126 participants on a call voluntarily is not easy to get. We have difficulties getting this number even on a weekday here in South Africa. So big kudos to Dr. Sharma and all the organizers. Very, very educational talk. I was also very privileged to be at the book launch for Dr. Pradhan last week. And incredible speaker, well-rounded man. And I'm also very excited to hear that he's still the technical advisor for the Ministry of Health in Odisha. I am not going to ask too many questions. I just have one comment. The one comment is, I saw that you said there were about 8 net manufacturers or 9 net manufacturers. And of that, 2 you're using, and these are obviously WHO approved. There's maybe also a challenge for the colleagues in India as well. You know, to have net manufacturers like Vestergaard supplying India, with respect to the company, I think local is very good to go. I think you have one there. It's you said Show Bika, Impact Private. But I think the challenge for you, Dr. Pradhan, and all the colleagues on the call to see how you can get more registration done in India with local suppliers, because I'm sure this is a massive market for yourselves. I'm going to stop there just to say thank you very much. Look forward to interacting and engaging with yourselves and our listeners on the call. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Patrick. Thank you very, very much. And again, before we take up today, we have got a new guest. If Dr. Krishnamurthy is listening, if he is there on the board right now. Yes, Dr. Krishnamurthy.
I think it's very nice. I think I should thank you first of all for giving me an opportunity to join this group. And it's very interesting, of course, that I was involved in the training of integrated vector management. And we know that malaria elimination, that we have this concept to be followed like. So the very interesting presentation by Dr. Pradhan. And of course, VCRC is collaborating in some research, operational research with the state program. And we know that how difficult it is to reach the hardcore areas and particularly to distribute the LLINs and things like. So I think his presentation is so lucid. And then of course, it's very nice. It's a well-organized presentations. I'm happy to be, with this group. Thank you.
Thank you, KK. Thank you. And you have to be there with me for LF when we talk on LF.
Sure, sure.
It will be very unfair on my part for LLIN. I have to give the floor to Dr. Rajpal Yadav to explain certain things because he has tried to do in chat box. But Dr. Rajpal Yadav, please say a few words and explain the participants about those index, how to measure those holes business, please.
Okay, thank you so much. So first of all, actually the voice is breaking many times because probably many videos are on. So probably that's consuming bandwidth. But thank you, Dr. Pradhan, for excellent presentation. And I'm glad that being a public health person, you have in-depth knowledge of long-lasting net technology. And also nice to see Patrick from South Africa. We have been WHO, we have been working closely with the, let me put on my video. Okay. We have been working with many countries in Africa, including South Africa. And we in fact did a trial in Mpumalanga in your border to Mozambique for an IRS trial. Now, coming back to the LLINs, I have noted down several issues and I will quickly explain some of them. One is the active ingredients. So Dr. Pradhan mentioned permethrin, deltamethrin, and alpha-cypermethrin as the active ingredients. But actually there are nets that these days also incorporate deltamethrin and alpha-cypermethrin with pyriproxyfen, alpha-cypermethrin with the new nets that are being developed currently, which includes chlorfenapyr. Chlorfenapyr is a pyrrole group of compound. It's a new compound which has come from agriculture into public health. So new nets have been recommended by WHO for use in control. Some of these nets are undergoing epidemiological trials. So some countries are buying PBO containing nets, but others are not yet there. And in terms of the global policy, we have recommended large epidemiological trials to test whether these PBO nets and whether these pyriproxyfen or chlorfenapyr nets can really reduce incidence of malaria in the field. So this is with regard to the active ingredients. Now, not just 3, but there are over a dozen brands of bed nets that have been pre-qualified by WHO. So if you go to the WHO website to the pre-qualification web page, then you will find all the names of these different nets. The second question was that Dr. Pradhan mentioned that we can wash the nets with small amount of detergent. So I want to clarify that the WHO recommendation is not to use detergent, but only to use soap, the country soap for washing nets. And because detergents have high amount of surfactants, so which is actually good for saline water or hard waters. but actually soaps are reasonably good to wash nets, to remove dirt or anything greasy. Because if you use detergent, then it will suck out a lot of active ingredients and will damage the efficacy of the net. So this is one aspect. And actually detergent is useful in one way, which I will come back in the end of my discussion when we talk about disposal of nets. The third point is somebody wrote a question about shrinkage. So shrinkage means when WHO recommends specifications of long-lasting nets, then we say that that net will not shrink more than 5% of the size, whether it is length or breadth, including the corners. So if any net is shrinking more than 5% of the dimension, then that net is not accepted by WHO in the pre-qualification stage itself. But sometimes when you use the net, you tuck it under the mattress, and continuously if you do it, then there may be folded edges, and that may result into some sort of shrinkage. But when you wash the net, you can simply splash it and the net can come back to the original shape. But still up to 5% shrinkage is allowed. So that is within the acceptable. If the net is shrinking more than that, then you should report back it to the government or to the manufacturer that your net actually is not meeting the WHO specifications. The other question was disposal of bags and disposal of used nets. So for bags, we have a WHO policy that normally the bags should not be given, the nets should not be given in the original bag whenever individual nets are being distributed. So if the net is being given to a household, then take it out of the bag, the plastic bag, and keep that bag separately, and just give the net to the household. Now the recommendation is that this bag can be triple rinsed. That means you put half a liter water, simply shake it, and collect the insecticidal water into a bucket, and 3 times if you rinse it, it is called triple rinsing the outer bag. The net then becomes, the bag then becomes a plastic waste. So it can be then collected and disposed of like any other plastic waste. And the rinsate that you have collected in the bucket can be put into a pit away from the water bodies. So this is a simple technology for outer bags. Same thing for the bale material or the bale bags. But for the long-lasting net, there is no WHO guideline on disposal of used long-lasting nets, because of the simple reason that it is very difficult to collect a dead net from field. Who will put that money? Because you have millions of used nets in households, and collecting those old nets is a big economic problem. First of all, you should institute a collection mechanism. So from each household, you will have to collect an old net, and you have to convince the owner that actually I am giving you a new one and give me back the old one. Sometimes people may refuse because nets can be used, old nets can be used in 100 ways, fencing the animals or fencing the vegetable garden, or covering so many different grains, or so many different uses. In the end, even people use it as a or even a bed sheet. So many different uses of these nets are there until they are really finally shredded in pieces. So collection of such nets, first of all, is logistically difficult. And even if district collects these nets, what will they do? Because incineration requires 3000 Celsius or higher of temperature to burn them, because any burning lower than that would result in release of dioxin gases, which are highly poisonous. So incineration of nets cannot be done in routine bio waste as we do in hospitals. So in the end, what is the solution? So although WHO is still exploring the possibility of developing some guideline, but I was manager of the WHO pesticide evaluation scheme for 7-8 years, and based my personal experience, I can recommend one simple solution, that if somebody wants to really dispose of a used net, into a bucket, put fill water up to half of the bucket, and put some detergent in it. Okay, so this is where the role of detergent comes. If you put detergent into the bucket and simply shake the net and leave it overnight, all the insecticide, whatever is small amount residually available in the net will actually become, will be sucked out of the net. And this net doesn't contain then any insecticide. Then this becomes simple plastic waste. You can then dispose it off like any plastic material in the villages or townships where vendors actually collect plastic material. So this is a simple technical solution, but in the end, in a Odisha kind of situation, Dr. Pradhan will have a great logistic difficulty even collecting these vast kind of nets. And finally, my final comment is that, by the way, Dr. Pradhan mentioned about the starting of IT experimentation in Burkina Faso, Baba Dioulasso, but actually it started in your own home country. So it started in Odisha in 1989 up to 1992 in Sundargarh district, where I was actually the officer in charge of the Malaria Research Center. And I supervised 2 PhD students on their ITN trials. So we did a trial in Sundargarh district in Bisra PhD, and we did another trial in Tensa and Kalta mines in Sundargarh districts. And this is where the ITN trial in Odisha was started in 1989. And prior to that, the first ITN trial in India started in 1985 in Assam. So there was one Dr. Babita Jana, who was the students of Malaria Research Center, who with Chris Curtis did the first trial of ITN in Assam. So actually the ITN trials in India started as much as anywhere else in the world. And we were one of the very first few researchers who actually were involved in the ITN trials. So I think this is what the number of questions I have gathered. And finally, the PHI, the proportional health, the proportional whole index. So I gave you the link of a document, which is a durability monitoring guideline, which we wrote in 2011. And this is to monitor the durability of long-lasting nets in field. So you download this document, and it gives description of how to calculate the proportionate whole index. So basically, somebody also answered, I think Dr. Mishra, somebody else replied, you actually count the hole in the nets and multiply it with the code, the assigned number, then I think you can calculate the proportional hole index. But frankly speaking, indices have never been field tested, still in the book, but there may be some research papers also published, but there is no practical hands-on indicator that can be used in field for this PHI index, because nobody in the field calculates the number of holes and the size of the hole, because there are different sizes. So one has to be really trained in calculating the hole index in the field. Largely, I think the best indicator would be what percentage of nets are surviving. So although WHO has recommended that the nets will survive for at least 3 years, but in ideal situation, about 10% of nets are lost in the first year. Another 10-15% nets are lost in the very second year. And end of third year, about 50% nets are left. So in a campaign mode, for example, when you distributed nets in 2017 in Odisha, by 2020 now, nearly 50 to 60% nets would not be available at the households. Either they have been torn, or they have been damaged, or they have been donated. And therefore, while in the campaign modes, we distribute nets to everyone every 3 years. There is a WHO recommendation on continuous LLIN distribution through antenatal clinics and EPI program. So every time a newborn is born, then you give them, the mother and child, a new net. And this way you actually cover any new additions to the population in the LLIN targeted areas. So I think that's what I wanted to quickly brief you. If you have any question, I'm happy to take on. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Yadav. Thank you very much.
I would like to add on, Dr. Yadav, if you allow, PK.
Please.
Yeah, under the program, when the ITN was introduced, the first training was organized at Dibrugarh. Dr. S.M. Cole, he requested me, because Dr. Yadav has just now mentioned that in Sonapur the first trial was there and I was involved there. So yeah, So Dr. Cole told me that, I have to teach people how to, impregnate the bed net. So I went to Dibrugarh with him, demonstrated there. And after that, many trainings were organized here at DAD and NAMP. And I was that time at NCDC. So all the training courses, whatever organized for malariology or any other, I was always giving the demonstration on how to impregnate the bed net. Then, yeah, initially when the bed net was brought under the program, there were 4 districts in the country. That was Koenjar in Odisha, Srikakulam, Andhra Pradesh, Raigada, Maharashtra, and Dungarpur, Rajasthan. I stayed for 1 month in Koenjar, Dr. Pradhan.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that time, I had to see how people are using, whether it will be, effective for the program or not.
You come again come to Keonjhar. Keonjhar is now down with no malaria. The situation has completely changed.
Okay.
It is now less than 1 API.
But you have problem now in 7 districts. Right now you are having increase of malaria.
I have gone through all those 7 districts now, and I have got the corona.
Yeah.
I am completely infected.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we'll try.
There are many experiences, and we are working on this disposal also. Dr. Yadav also knows that recently we have discussed about how to dispose these used LLIN, and it's a huge task. And if you collect the nets, as Dr. Yadav has said, again you want a warehouse like the new LLIN you saw. Then that, like all these used LLIN, where you will be keeping. Storing is a big logistical issue, and this will be big programmatic aspect. So probably we need to find out some solution how we can best use these old LLINs. And you have rightly said that we need to strengthen the entomological component, and we are working on it very seriously. Probably before leaving the program, at least I can say something that yes.
No, you are not going to leave. Don't worry. Thank you, Dr. Kalpana. Thank you very much. Let me now summarize the things. Basically, what has happened, Dr. Pradhan's presentation was so nice, and because we are very lucky that we have got people like Dr. Rajpal Yadav, who has earlier in his lecture also he has given a brief. Dr. R. A. Sharma, you remember that we had been to Visakhapatnam, and one of the training for impregnation in Koraput district, and we have seen
Jaipur,
Koraput, Kalahandi, the entire area we saw, and then we traveled down directly by road to. No, the issue is that Dr. Pradhan has covered from the theory of ITN coming to LLIN, then the challenges, then the meticulous planning. Now the issue is we are talking of entomology and vector control, whether it is an IRS, every process has got both the side of the coin. One side there is a problem, one side there are challenges, and another side there are benefits. So we have to work it out whether we really want to do the meticulous planning. Last year I was in Jharkhand. We always say universal coverage, and I was very, very impressed when the distribution plan is different from the procurement plan. Normally, procurement plan is multiply 1.8 ratio. Earlier it was 2.1. Now it has become 1.8. Now the issue is when they were going, they decided we have got 3 types of bed net, 3 specifications: single, double, and the large size. So they said that okay, let us see 1,000 population. Sagya must be listening, and if she can supplement, because they said 7.7%. If 1,000 population, there will be 460 bed nets will be required. Out of that 460, how to take it to the field, which Dr. Pradhan was telling, so many million bed nets suddenly coming. First you demand, then you go, then you manage the trucks. I mean, I have seen personally all those things, because usually the state people, they are all encountering those logistic problems and management issue. So 7.7%, then 77.35%, and then remaining is for that. So first category, second category, and third category. And when you go to the field, even then you encounter different kind of challenges. So my all friends who are listening, so they have to design. The only thing, always there is a flexibility of buffer logistics arrangement, which they can supplement to see that coverage is universal. The coverage should not be patchy. We are now talking of LLIN. We have been talking for IRS also patchy spraying. So here also patchy coverage. That's what his main theme of presentation was. That meticulous planning, meticulous planning. I said not less than 23, 24 times you have you repeated this word meticulous planning, meticulous planning. It is very, very important because you have to perceive the things and then you have to implement the things. So this is very, very important. And I'm very, very happy today we were joined with many experts from South Africa, and KK also joined, my friend. Anybody who wants, Sagya, you want to supplement something for Jharkhand experience? Because I have seen your LLIN and bednet distribution plan was very, very nice. It was excellent to Jharkhand, basically. And anybody wants to supplement something, they can, please. So any of our senior colleague, if they want to supplement something, otherwise already I think it is today is too late. 9:20. I'm very highly thankful for all these people, and most of the questions have been answered. And if there is some problem, we will try to solve it, because he has very nicely clarified. Dr. Yadav has clarified that it is not. There are two very important things. One, that PHI, the proportional hole index, is not very user friendly for the program in the field because it has not been field tested. Basically, you must see that how many nets are available after 3 years and then how many are torn. So in normal 10% and 20% additional requirement, you can add if you do survey. So user rate is very, very important. Second important point, he has told that the bed net should be used. It should not be kept. And the challenges, what he has told, by virtue of listening such kind of experiences, you can always anticipate while you are doing planning. So I will try to close down, and then I'll request Dr. Rakesh Sharma sir, please you can say a few words, and finally. Yes, sir, Dr. R.R. Sharma sir.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Who is talking? Somebody's house voice is coming.
This read me, continuously talking from the beginning.
Who?
That no name, it is read me. Continuously speaking from the beginning. Now only it is muted. And
I have done. I have done.
Okay, you have done. And one person, 475A, small a, 740B. Continuous, his video was on and he was moving, sometimes yawning, sometimes
what is that name? What is that name?
Name is not there, the number I have noted down.
Please tell me.
475A 740B.
Now I think he or she is not there.
Now he might have left immediately.
No, he's still there.
Fan is there. Fan is moving.
Fan is on.
Oh yeah. The fan is on and he is there. Now you can see his finger. Sometimes
1 minute. He is removed.
Yeah. No, still he is there. He is there.
He is removed.
Yeah.
And for all people, I am again requesting. It's a very humble request that please treat this as a classroom. Please do not try to see that this is a picture hall, because we are doing lot of labor to prepare the transparency. We are taking lot of pains to invite the experts, and it is for all of you only, not for any one of us. So please make this thing. I mean, every mail I am writing that please, whenever you join, please make a mute, and no phone number should be there. We do not know who is there. Like, see, Dr. Kalpana is telling, like Oppo or Redmi, we do not know who is participating. Thank you. Please, Dr. R. Sharma.
Sir, thank you very much. Dr. Pradhan, I compliment you on behalf of Absolute Human Foundation. And it was my pleasure to talk to Patrick Munasser afternoon today. And I think Patrick has just left. He had to go for a meeting. He just gave me a message, Dr. Yadav, who was clarifying a lot of issues and questions. And one more gentleman was there with us. I have no idea. Fernandez. Dr. Edmund Fernandez was there with us. He's a CEO from CSD Group India and was also invited to participate today. So I think a lot of time has already been taken. So thank you very much for everybody. Thank you very much, Madam Kalpana Barua. I think she's busy with the phone and all. So thank you very much, Dr. R.S. Sharma, Dr. P.K. Shrivastava. I think the way we talked sometimes before, now Dr. R.S. Sharma, I discussed with him today, and Dr. P.K. Shrivastava, we are a program from India to other countries. Thank you very much once again. Thanks. आपने म्यूट करके रखा सर।
बात क्लियर नहीं आ रही थी। Thank you very much and bye bye once again. See you again on next Saturday with another new topic. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye to everybody.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Pradhan. It was very good and it was very informative.
RS सबसे पहले भाग गया क्या?
They will be benefited after your lecture. Thank you.
RS तुरंत चला गया। Dr. Pradhan, it was बहुत अच्छा था, बहुत बढ़िया था।
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Today, who is on the job to note down all details? Saturday, no, Sunday. Bhagyashri.
I have taken the snapshot.
हाँ, आप उनको भेज दीजिएगा, मुझे भेज दीजिएगा या भाग्यश्री को भेज देंगे। Bhagyashri is there? She is listening or not?
Hello.
I do not know. Anju, I have given you already work, eh?
She's not here, sir.
She's not here.
Yeah.
Mr. Ghan. This is also a test for all of you. Anju, you have noted down something for today? No. Your turn was yesterday's.
No, I took that attendance.
Huh?
Attendance.
Today also you have taken something?
Yeah, sir.
Very good. Please. You can send it to me. Let me check up.
Okay, sir.
And before next session starts, yesterday's story and today's story should be finished. That is how we have to work.
Okay.
That's what you have not seen me, na? Kalpana, she has not seen me when I was in chair. So we must finish. Course is you have to send me by Thursday so that I'll have Friday to finish it.
Okay, sir.
And then upload it.
Yeah, sir.
So that other people also they can give some kind of comment. Because next Saturday again it will be sent to you.
Sir, these people are keeping these mosquito nets in kitchen also, na? These people are keeping these mosquito nets in kitchen also, na?
These people speak loudly. Today I do not know some problem with the sound.
People are keeping these mosquito nets in kitchen also, na? Maybe this in Chhattisgarh also these places, na? People are sleeping in kitchen and keeping these mosquito nets in kitchen itself. Then the smog will come and that will also affect its effectivity.
That is what he said in the presentation.
No, I could not get. Please say it again. What is the issue?
People are
saying the same. What Dr. Pradhan has already told, that the smoke is covering the insecticide and the efficacy loses down when the smoke covers the net. And because in the huts there is no compartment of kitchen separate, so they are forced to sleep in the same area. So the kitchen is also there, then sleeping area is also there. So the
This
nets.
issue is, yes, I understand. This issue is not new one. When the plain bed net was given, supply was being made long back, even 75s, 80s, when we went to Surat for studying. There was in one hut, there are 10 people are sleeping and one bed net you are giving. It was really very, very difficult to adjust the bed net. So the same problem, once you give something free or subsidy, people will immediately come and take it. When it comes on usage, then they will put their brain. That is why IC and BCC component becomes very, very important. How people they perceive it and how they implement it. Because our job does not end only after distribution. That is why the monitoring and user rate and usability and its proper use has to be monitored every day. But where are the people who will do this kind of monitoring? This is another big issue. There was one person who asked one question. I think he is not there, Jagtap, that how much money has been given in PIP. This is not that forum to ask the funding proportion in the PIP sanctioning and everything. This is purely a technical class. So we should refrain ourselves. So your question is valid, because these are the technical as well as the problem of the human psychology, that whatever place they are having, because you have told them, it is not only with bed nets, it is, I have seen in LF program also, you give the drug, people they don't consume. You go with the team, people they don't allow for spray. You give the bed net, they will keep on the pillow, they will not use it. Initially they used to do fishing, but when they practically they themselves they saw, because fishes is the one which is most susceptible, most sensitive to the insecticide. Even part per billion the fishes will die. So initially they used to do that fishing. They used to use the nets for the fishing, but when they saw, oh, it is dangerous for them. So that is why IEC BCC component is very, very important. And who will do the IEC BCC? I mean, in vector-borne disease program, unless this consultant was given in the earlier World Bank program and it is continued so far, Dr. Pradhan knows because he has been associated with the first World Bank project. Otherwise, where are the IC BCC people in the program, vertical program? And once it goes on the integrated program, it has got its own complication, because then priority changes. And that is what is exactly happening. But anyway, we have to, that's what, within the challenges, we have to sort out our own way and see that our priority is also met, our role is not diluted. That is why. But your observation and your concern is very valid. This is not happening only in Chhattisgarh. This is happening in most of the tribal and the people who are having less space to live or sleep. Am I correct, Dr. Pradhan?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they are not having that, they are not using that cots now more. Most of the people are sleeping on the floor, so that is also a problem. They are not tying it properly, so the chance of shrinking is more here.
Not only shrinking, the only thing is that if they do not tug it properly, see, half turn or half tugged, it becomes more difficult, and it will show a adverse impact that LLIN is not actually giving the impact. The same thing like spray. You do patchy spray and say that a spray is ineffective. Same thing, if bed net is not used properly, then people are not protected properly. Mosquito will come, bite, and then change the habit and go away. Take the blood, and malaria will be transmitted. And people will say that we have distributed, we have covered, universal coverage has been achieved, but it has not been. So that's what his presentation, one slide was very important.
In some places, people are using like blankets like that, not tying it, just covering it over them like that. Firstly,
yes, they are doing. And most of the people, if you go in the tribal, remote tribal area, I mean, you yourself, you are experiencing that. People are just sleeping outside. Evening, most of the people, they use liquor and then they sleep outside. They are not aware whether mosquito is biting or some other things are biting. This is very, very common. We have seen many outbreaks. We have gone in Andhra Pradesh, Paderu area, Kadapa region. I mean, many places we have seen. So these are the challenges in public health program, and we have to see, and that's why there is no magic bullet for one. That's why they say that it is a different ecological, different eco-geo settings. The different strategy has to be done. So there is a common strategy. Out of that, something is to be taken out. That is what the theme in my IVM also, and today also LLIN one slide was there, that meticulous planning requires everything.
And one thing is that now they are telling like that we are using fan, so no need to use this LLINs like that.
That is also, there are many people, they are using nowadays this repellent they are using in the house, and
Not repellent, sir. They are started using fan.
fans
Inside
also they are
fan,
telling, somewhere
so
they are
they are
using
telling like
repellent, somewhere they have used all the doors with the mesh, so screened houses, so they take lot of excuses, and those are the reasons. So that's what all these things will come in meticulous planning, that whom to give and whom not to give. But
so we
again,
have to give a big clap to Odisha team, na? Dr. Pradhan and Dr. Arun is also there. He is there. Arun, Shivan, and all those teams.
huh?
We have to give a big clap to them, na? Odisha team. For
No,
this.
Odisha team has got a lot of big claps, not only national level,
From
but
Asia.
international level he has got. Anyway, I will see. That's good. That's good. Chalo, should we close down now?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Good night, sir.
Good night, sir.